2020, we had our first project in schools, the Inclusive E-Learning Project that was in 10 partner schools in 4 districts. This was a very successful project that gave birth to many other different projects that we are yet to listen to today. It was during the implementation of the e-learning project in 2020 and 2021 that we discovered the need for more services to promote inclusion in our schools. And thus, this is where Embrace International Foundation, Uganda, came from. It's an offline library that can be accessed anywhere. You don't need internet to access it, and tablets, and our children since 2020 have been enjoying this service. Reading beyond what the teachers teach in class, doing a lot of research, doing revisions during their free time, and we are happy to share today that this project has made great success in our schools. We did a small test just to, we wanted to know the attitude of our children towards disability. You know, Embrace is all about empowering our children with disabilities to stay in school, not to drop out, to complete school. So we did this research and we realized a majority of our students did not know so much about disability. Most of them thought, for us where we come from, they say disability is a curse, that disabled people cannot do much in life, that having a disability is a punishment from God. And I cannot sit next to a child with a disability. This is the kind of feedback we got in our schools. I cannot have a friend with a disability because it will move from my friend and jump to me. So we saw all this in our schools after doing this assessment. And then we said, no, we cannot just do this assessment and then we sit on it. We are going to do something about this attitude. And that's when we started doing the inclusion workshops. We started doing these inclusion workshops with our partners, Chaninga Child Development Center. Their special needs team, we used to move from school to school and talk to children, teach them about what disability is, how we can support children with disabilities, how we can work together in the school environment to make this child very comfortable.
The RCC, Fort Potro and the Kabarole region, the district education officers here present, the district inspectors of schools, head teachers and teachers of special needs learners, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Arthur Hachiza. I am the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Kabarole District Local Government. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to this very important engagement and also to appreciate Embrace International for this initiative and effort in ensuring the government strategy of having inclusive education. Ladies and gentlemen, you will appreciate that inclusive education is one of the parameters of the universal primary education. And therefore, any effort that is made towards achieving the universal primary education in Uganda is welcome with open hands. And therefore, we don't want to take your effort as Embrace International for granted. I realize that you have tackled very important areas in inclusiveness, equity and accessibility, e-learning, menstrual hygiene, and leaving no learner behind. And specifically on leaving no learner behind, when you make a direct translation, that is bona bashome or bona basome, whichever language you can translate it in. And therefore, we want to recognize that and put all our energies and support in making sure that no learner is left behind. But more specifically, learners with special traits on their bodies and in their minds. We really appreciate that these are very, very important Ugandans. And once we don't hold their hands, we shall definitely leave them behind. I appreciate the designer of this program. I know he will introduce himself, but I have already seen and realized and assessed that he's a very able-bodied Ugandan. We can clap for him. So Isabella and Kasfa, you are on point. We want to appreciate that. What does the government do on our part as government? We have designed enabling policies to make sure that there is liberalization of education, in a sense that every parent, whether rich or poor, whether middle income earning, can afford to take their children to school.
My name is Agatha Katsime Agaba. I work as the Assistant Resident City Commissioner for Poto City. I'm here in the name of our RCC. I want to take this opportunity to thank Embrace International Foundation for inviting me here, for inviting our office. We cannot take this for granted. Thank you very much. I also want to acknowledge their work to our people. You see, we are all candidates of being disabled. We cannot know when. We can even be parents of disabled children. Who is behind? They told us is behind the systems. If people, aren't you challenged? Me, I'm challenged and I'm so impressed. So I have to thank him. So as government, we shall continue to support you in any way. And I call for follow-ups. Please let us know for all the steps. And we shall be able to support the way we should be supporting.
We conducted our baseline research early this February this year, and this is the summary of our findings. On your tables, we have two papers having the summary of our findings in our baseline study. Kindly refer to it. So I'm going to go through it in 15 minutes. Are we all having the display of the summary of the findings on our tables? A total number of students were reached out in 5 target schools. The 5 target schools were mentioned already by Isabella. We have 3 schools in Kabarole district, that is Mugusu Primary School, Crest Aid Primary School, Kazingo Primary School. Then we have 1 school in Bundibujo, that is Buhundu Primary School, and 1 more school in Kasese, that is Rukoki Primary School. Those are the 5 schools where we conducted our baseline study during our research. So, the general questions which were asked, one is about school policy. The findings revealed that all schools had policy on anti-bullying and non-discrimination. All the 5 schools we visited, which are participating in our research, had the non-discrimination policy and anti-bullying. All 5 schools had all the available schools
encouraged equal participation of girls and boys, including learners with disabilities, meaning all our 5 schools where we conducted our research from are inclusive schools. Then, accessibility of school environment. During accessibility, we used observation method. That is, we found out 1 out of the 5 schools had ramps at the classroom entrance. Only 1 school had ramps. So, meaning these other 4 schools, students having physical disabilities, especially students using wheelchairs, they cannot access classrooms. All the schools have spaces reserved for boys and girls with disabilities, and the latrine doors weighed enough. All latrines in the 5 schools were inclusive, meaning learners with disabilities, they can access those latrines. All schools captured data on enrollment. However, 2 out of the 5 schools captured data on completion. All schools were registering students, but 2 out of the 5 schools we captured data on completion and retention. Learners were dropping out in these other schools. They were beginning first term, they have a lot of enrollment, but by the 3rd term, the enrollment reduces in other 3 schools.
I'm happy to be part of this initiative. It's very great, and I thank the program coordinator and the initiators of this project to really help our children come up inclusively with no discrimination. Thank you so much. It was really a very impressive presentation by our friend, and a lot we have learned actually from this presentation. And now, what we have is the thought that we can share. We contribute our thoughts about what is given to us, that how can you contribute. In fact, it's I. You say I when you read. How can you contribute to making education more inclusive? How can we ensure that no learner is left behind at the forefront of guiding education in our different areas where we are coming from? So, to me, I would suggest that we come up together, we team up or in our departments, and we see how we plan to cascade this project to the rest of our communities.
My name is Mbambu Flores. I'm an education assistant under Impress, and I'm in Kitarasa Primary School. So, I guess we all know what e-learning is, the use of these electronic devices for learning. And in our case, the devices we use are the tablets. So, whenever we are in these classes of ours, we first make sure we identify those learners who need like special attention. In most cases, a teacher will come in class, teach like thinking everyone is understanding on the same page without knowing people's capabilities. So there are these learners who are slow in learning. So make sure at least we identify them so that we can also give them a one-on-one session so that they can also come up. Another thing, these tabs of ours, they possess a lot of work which is on our curriculum in schools. So most times, the learners get to research for themselves. This is helping because we all know in this era, it is research. Even when you reach in secondary school these days, the new curriculum, you make your own research. Even our partner schools can share something, like we've been working with them, they know what we are doing, maybe they can share something, they can be having something to share about e-learning.
On behalf of Bukwali Primary School, where I am a head teacher, we have had this program since 2022, and I really want to appreciate the lady you sent us, Kasfa, who was later on taken to another level, and Samson is equally doing so great work. Thank you. I, for one, I love things to do with IT. That's one of my passion. When I heard about it happening somewhere, I ran very fast to make sure we tap on it. But seriously, we are celebrating and we are enjoying. I even sent in my proposal. I'm only waiting for response. We have a few tabs, but the entire school is really on our head. Even those of P1 want to interact with these tablets. The other day I was very surprised when pupils wanted to debate, and the topic was so tactical. It really needed a lot of content, not only from the school setting. It needed some international knowledge. Pupils went to Samson and told Samson, can we use, since it's not yet a session for e-learning, but we want to interact with those tablets. Samson also did not know that they wanted to make research on the topics of their debate topic. Everyone was busy struggling with the tablet because the ratio, whenever Samson is at school, the ratio is open for everyone to use. So people were very busy struggling with the tablets and writing. So I was wondering, is this session on the timetable for today? Only to realize that they were looking for some good points of their debate topic. And indeed, actually, we had a very nice debate with a lot of knowledge. So I really want to request each one of us to embrace this, just like the word embrace says. We include everyone. And I really want to request that through the country director, give us more, please. We are waiting.
So we've been taken through the project overview of the project we are working on. We also went through the feed research findings. Hope you people have been noting out the gaps somewhere. And with a feedback session, we allow comments which are going to help our project succeed. If there are gaps, you feel like if it was designed, remember we are not changing the project design, but you're only giving us an input to help us ensure that the project becomes a success at the end of the day. Remember, this is not Embrace's project. It is your project. To enable it to work, we need to come up with better strategies on how we are going to teamwork and ensure the success of this project.
We only have 25 tablets. And when it is time for that session, other people who are not involved also would like to be learning with other pupils. So it is my humble request that you assist us with more tablets so that my facilitator here, Mr. Ambusa, can have a bigger class during this period.
Suggest that you also at one time call parents of these children, have meetings with them, let them see my young son Chihembo and be encouraged that their children are not wasted. Because the experience I have with the parents of these children is they don't mind. For instance, I have 2 children who studied from P1, right now they are in P7, but I don't know their mother. For 7 years, I don't know their mother, I don't know any of their relatives. They came to my school on a border, and every time they go on a border. One of the 2, and their sister and a brother, but they lost their father. Their mother is there. Their mother does not mind. They were brought by someone else to our school on a border. So it is our initiative to see that they are going back home. Unfortunately, a girl is crippled. Our work is to lift her. At least the boy can crawl, but the girl we lift to the wheelchair, we lift to the toilet stanza, we clean. Okay, everything I can tell you. Now, this girl is very clever right away from P1 to P7. She has never been the second. She has never been the second. She's always the first. But we don't know any of their relative. So if you can come in and maybe give also some word of encouragement to these parents so that at least they can be able to have a positive attitude towards their children.
My concern is about the mind, the issue of the mind. Colleagues are aware that whatever we do, all our actions are influenced by our minds, the perceptions we have on certain situations, on certain issues. Like Madam has said, my issue is that if possible, if it is possible that we identify all the parents, we identify parents of these people with different special education needs and have them convened, have a meeting with them, a sharing with them, and present to them other individuals who have equally same inabilities or education needs, it can work for them.
Thank you, Kihembo and Embrace International, for this interactive, important engagement. For sure, we have so many challenges, and now that the Commissioner Special Needs is with us, allow me, Commissioner, put some concerns that need some interventions. One, we still have the community and leaders at all levels that don't support learners with special needs. And at the level of a district as education officers,
sometimes we don't go down. Some CDOs do help and others don't. I visited a child that was about to do suicide. Why? The school where the child was had said, for us, we can't continue with this child. I had to go to the parents, I advised them, and I'm happy that Kinyamaseke is handling the boy. And now the boy is very happy in the school.
This is my request to Embrace International, if possible. We don't have enough teachers for special needs education. So it is my request, if possible, if you can support these teachers from the schools you work with, at least to get the skills so that we can do the teaching very well. Teachers of special needs are very scarce. Thank you very much.
What should be done to improve inclusive education in schools? My ideas are as follows. We need to make our schools more child-friendly and attractive, more attractive to favor inclusion, teaching and learning.
I am humbled by your consideration to bring Kazingo also on board, and I would like to inform you that we shall cooperate and ensure that no learner is left behind. However, within our community, we have learners with special needs who are not at school. For instance, we have a young boy who knows a bit of English. He says, "How are you?" He comes, speaks a chapati, a pancake after he goes back to school. I don't know, do you have any program for such children at home? Thank you.
Since in one way or the other there is use of technology or those gadgets, I want to suggest that we also add some more knowledge with it, like training the chatbot. It would help on getting direct access to information, not through scrolling. So if, since we already have the software engineer with us, I really want to request you do some more work on training the chatbot so that there is easy, direct access. Someone can just go into some kind of a search engine, you type in what you want, you even get a chat with some trainer somewhere through other servers and other search engines. Thank you.
Because we don't have teachers of special needs, we shall not admit learners with special needs. For you, be ready all the time to welcome anybody. If you don't welcome them, then you yourself, you will have a disability tomorrow. And the system will say, since you did not prepare yourself, leave. I'm one of those lucky people that the schools you have talked about here, I know many of them.